I'm doing it live, no pre-installed software here, this is in a browser. We're a Belgian company, so that's why we have the beer. We want to have a demonstration portal, and this is the Spicy Beer Company. A fictitious company, just to do some demonstrations. Otherwise, we will always show demonstrations of customer. This is just an example that we can play around with. This could be your front ends, and your customer would be a brand company. Brand company making beer, and that beer company has several needs, from business cards to packaging and so on. So, in this case, I need to log in. But it could be that it's an open shop without a login, and that you will end up logging in later. So let me log in. And in this case, I first need to select my product. So what happens here? I logged in, and I'm maybe the brand manager for the Spicy Beer Company. And as a brand manager, or maybe I'm just in HR, what I see right here is I have several documents that I can change. I won't go through them all then, because a normal demonstration would take about 1 hour, so I will do 2-3 documents. For example, this one. Let's start with a very simple business card. Maybe you know everybody can do business cards, but the business card explains a lot of concepts in a very small document. What you see here is a business card visually shown in a browser, front and back, and a very simple form next to it. That is quite easy. So an end user would say, this is for Maya Styles, and Maya is our new CEO. Or let's say Chief Content Officer, CCO. So everybody can just make some changes form-based. Quite easy. But there's much more to that document. It's not only form-based. You can also allow people to go in and do some inline editing. And if you select these texts, you can also change the fonts, depending on if you choose to open up a certain font to that end user or not. I can also change the size of that font, again, between certain limitations that are given. Let's say Maya has a very long name, and I will add a lot of text. You see that automatic copy fitting will be applied. Again, this is something that you can set in the documents. And how do you do it? As an administrator, mostly somebody in pre-press, would have these tools available. So this is the tool set that is available for a power user, somebody in pre-press. And there you could say, this frame will have all these options. And maybe with variable data also has some copy fitting applied between 25 and 300%. So it's a matter of point and click and configuration instead of having to program it. But of course, this is way too much information for an end user. That is why an end user would only see this. By the way, you can see that my frame is selected, and in this case, I'm allowed to move this frame around. This would be no-go for an end user. So what happens, for example, this logo, completely locked, I cannot even select it. It's completely locked. And there's options in between, where you can say, I can have my logo, move it around, but you can see I cannot move around outside of this area. It has to stick into that area. So you can have several levels of freedom in one document. What you can also do, this is now the Spicy Super League. And the Spicy Super League is the league sponsored by the Spicy Beer Company. So, or you work for the Spicy Super League, or maybe you work for the Spicy Beer Company. So make a selection, and you will see different layers. Other documents, well, same document, different layer. You see we have phone numbers here. Let's say we work in Germany, and it will change my color, it will change the prefix, and I can then change my number 1, 2, 3, and it will change as well. But it will add a T and a dot sign and so on, and the prefix. So there's a lot of logic, even in a simple business card. All with the purpose of guiding somebody to a certain point, and there's nothing more I can do now. What would be the next step now? I'm done editing on a very simple way, is save the document, order it, and then it would arrive in your system, in an MIS system, as a job for a print job. This is not what we do, so I cannot show you this. This would be handled by the MIS system.